What's up, everybody? Mark with Coffee and Toys here, bringing you another comic book review. Today we will be reviewing the latest issue of G.I. Joe, A Real American Hero, issue 304, and of course that issue is written by none other than Larry Hama, artist Chris Mooneyham, colorist Francesco Segala, flatter Sabrina Del Grosso, letterer Pat Brazu. So hopefully I got all their names right. I apologize if I butchered any of them. I really try my best to get this on point. But today's review will be spoiler heavy like all these other comic book reviews are. So if you're not interested, just go ahead and hit the like button and take off. But if you like hearing about G.I. Joe, Real American Hero, and want to hear my review, make sure you hit the like button. This is Coffee and Toys. I'm Mark, and let's just get into it. Okay, you may remember from the last issue we left off with Snake Eyes, Scarlet, and Baby Timber seemingly being killed by one of the Revanches, enhanced cyber ninjas. It blew up in Snake Eyes' cabin, and we were left with a final transmission from that ninja that they were all killed in the self-explosion, which was for the self-preservation of the technology that makes up the Revanche. I cannot say that word. Whatever they are, self-preservation, blew up, killed Snake Eyes, Scarlet, and Baby Timber. We start the issue off with Serpentor reviewing that last transmission and talking with Alpha 001 saying, yes, I am very happy with what I've seen. They seem to be dead. I want you to go ahead with Dr. Mindbender and get the ball rolling on enhancing more of my troops. Of course, Alpha 001 agrees, and we continue on to going back to Snake Eyes' cabin, which has been partially destroyed, and we see a young timber pup licking his paw, and Scarlet lifts her head up. Of course, they are not dead, and says, you need to stop eating all the spaghetti sauce from that MRE because it's full of sugar and it's not good for you. So they basically fake their own deaths, like what I said and what most people probably thought from the end of 303, that they were indeed faking their own deaths. They just happened to have some spaghetti sauce from an MRE nearby. So, in the meantime, the Tomahawk makes an appearance, and we get to see for the first time in the new Skybound Entertainment handling of G.I. Joe, we see Airtight Black Hat, who I'm not familiar with, actually, and Mainframe. So, they show up, and they are there to collect what is left of this cybernetic monstrosity and see if they can figure out what's going on and maybe get an idea of what Serpentor's plans are. So in the meantime, they are getting themselves ready. Snake Eyes is briefly talking to them because, again, this is Snake Eyes' clone. He is not scarred up. He has a voice. Still taking a while. We're into the 304 issue, and he's talking, and you still can't see his face, which I don't understand. And I will make a comment again about that, saying that if you're going to give us Snake Eyes, just give us the whole 9 yards. I mean, show his face. You're not going to surprise any of us anymore. Just draw his face. That's my only gripe I really have with this issue. Just show his face. He's talking. We've all moved past it. So let's see Snake Eyes for real. Anyway, they all get back into their fatigues, and their Scarlet and Snake Eyes and Timber are going to leave the base. And Airtight, Mainframe, Black Hat are going to take their remnants back in the Tomahawk and go from there back to the pit, one would assume. So with that being said, we move on in the comic to Dawn, who is in Springfield visiting her parents, who are Cobra sympathizers who work for Cobra in Springfield, and it's very hush-hush. Her parents are worrying about, we can't let them find out that Dawn's here, otherwise we'll be in deep trouble with Cobra Commander. And she sneaks out of the house to do some recon in Springfield, and she is communicating back with the pit, saying, hey, here's what I'm seeing, and it looks like they're gearing up for something major. She actually does call in to the pit via Betty, and I find out for the first time that Betty, maybe I didn't know this, but it is notated in the comic that Betty is the AI that does communications for G.I. Joe. So I'm willing to bet that we're gonna hear more about Betty in the future. I'm gonna guess here, just hypothetically, the Revenant are going to somehow hijack the AI Betty from the pit. I'm going to call that right now in the future. So anyway, she's tracking a few of the enhanced Vipers that are in Springfield, specifically a Night Viper, an Alley Viper, and a Night Creeper. She's going to tail them. Duke says, yes, tail them, do not engage. And meanwhile, we have a an enhanced Techno Viper, Toxo Viper, and regular Viper have infiltrated the perimeter of the pit. Now, Spirit, if you may remember, was watching them in the last issue, and Lady J and Stalker and Duke are basically saying, okay, let's make sure we're keeping eyes on them. Spirit, please make sure you follow where they're going on the base. And, of course, they're all... G.I. Joe is not behind on anything. They are not going to be caught off guard from any front. Meanwhile, we go back to Cobra Island, and Serpentor is talking with Dr. Mindbender, saying, okay, we need to figure out a way to get like a full assembly line going to get all of our minions enhanced with the Revanche technology so that we can take this attack to Cobra Commander. As you may remember, Serpentor's whole plan is to attack Cobra Commander at Springfield, just a full-on assault. That being said, we cut back to Springfield with a new look for Cobra Commander as he is rallying his troops. And this version of Cobra Commander, hopefully I throw a picture of it up on here, is it looks very Spy Troops version of Cobra Commander. Instead of having the classic hood, it is more like a almost skin type balaclava mask in blue with the Cobra logo on it. And it does remind me of the Spy Troops figure we got back in the early 2000s that you could remove the hood and underneath that was the skin type mask. They also, I think, used that mask a few times in the... whenever Devil's Due had the IP. So it was cool to see that come back. Will we ever see the hooded version of Cobra Commander come back? Probably not in this day and age. But hey, you never know. We might get lucky. But I do like this design. It's a good placeholder for the classic hooded design. So anyway, he is rallying the troops saying, here's what we're going to do. We are not going to worry about protecting the infrastructure at Springfield whenever Serpentor Khan attacks. We are going to take the fight directly to him, and we're going to do it one of three different ways. Two of them are going to be false pretenses to lure him into us, so he doesn't know where we're really attacking from, but one of those will be true. In the meantime, this is all getting transmitted back to Serpentor Khan and Alpha 001, Dr. Mindbender, and Alpha 001 says this is going to put a hamper on our plans. And Serpentor Khan says, Mindbender, you have got to figure out either directly from Cobra Commander or by sneaking into their transmission broadcast some way of figuring out which of these three is the real attack plan, because this could potentially thwart our attack. Cobra Commander knows we're coming. He has a plan devised, but we don't know what that plan is. So Serpentor Khan, trying to strategize a little bit, and Cobra Commander seeming once again to have the upper hand on at least knowing what Serpentor is going to do, and Serpentor is not going to have any of that. So we now cut back. The Tomahawk is in the air, heading back to the base. We see Airtight, Mainframe, and Black Hat discussing this destroyed enhanced Cyber Ninja, Revanche, whatever you want to call it. And all of a sudden it comes alive and it starts attacking them in the Tomahawk. Catches them completely off guard. They're putting bolts in it left and right. It still just keeps attacking. We're at the point where I believe Black Hat is almost getting ready to get thrown out of the plane, and Wild Bill comes out of the cockpit and puts a slug directly into this enhanced Cyber Ninja. And it's really cool. I was really happy to see Wild Bill come out and just put it down with his 6-shooter. And it was done very Wild Bill style. I loved it. It was fantastic. That's probably the highlight of the issue for me right there. So, meanwhile, they're heading back to the pit. We go back to Springfield. Dawn is still doing recon, and she is engaged by these enhanced Alley Viper, what we got? Night Creeper and Night Viper. Sorry, Night Viper, Night Creeper, Alley Viper. Enhanced versions of each one of those attack Dawn, so it's a 3-on-1 situation. She dismisses of them quite easily because she makes the statement that it might have been easy for a normal Joe, but I am an Arashikage ninja. And as she is getting ready to deliver the final blow, they set themselves to, just like in Snake Eyes' cabin, they self-destruct. After they self-destruct, Dawn radios Duke at the pit and says, I think I found their fatal flaw. They will self-destruct when they don't want the technology to fall into G.I. Joe's hands, so they will destroy themselves before they allow that technology to slip through their fingers, I suppose is a way of looking at it. And yeah, so we end the final page of issue 304 with a mountain, or a castle on top of a mountain in Scotland. And of course we are Next frame, we are greeted with Destro sitting on his throne with the Baroness beside him, and they are speaking to someone, and that someone is Zartan. And they are basically saying, why should we trust you after all the things you've done? You know, the typical bad guys dealing with bad guys sort of thing. Baroness makes the off-cuff comment, how do we even... I'm surprised you're showing your face if that is indeed your real face. And Zartan basically says, or Destro, I'm sorry, says, let's hear him out. He has to have a reason. He wouldn't just show up here for no good reason. And Zartan says, I have information that we can potentially use against some of our former allies, former enemies, and it sounds like a good time for us to team up, is essentially what I'm paraphrasing. And yeah, that's the end of the issue. What are my thoughts on it? Like I said, highlight of the issue was Wild Bill getting a 6-shooter out and putting down that Revanche enhanced Blue Ninja. No surprise seeing Snake Eyes, Scarlet, and Baby Timber being alive. We knew in the last issue that was going to happen. Again, another bit of a filler issue, but that's what's going to happen. I mean, if you're leading up to this Cobra Civil War that I've been talking about, I think that it's a good issue. Not a lot of action. I mean, we do get to see Dawn fight these 3 enhanced Vipers. It's very short. Again, you've only got, 22 pages or so to work with, so I understand it's got to be short and sweet and to the point. It's nice seeing Dawn in action again. She's a character that when they created her, when IDW created her, I really enjoyed her a lot. So it's nice to see her in action. Good seeing Airtight. Very, very surprised to see him. See Mainframe. Also surprised to see Mainframe. Black Hat, like I mentioned, drop me a comment. How long's Black Hat been around? Female character, dark hair, dark long hair. When I very first saw her, I thought it was CoverGirl, but then it said Black Hat, and I was like, well, I'm missing somebody. And no, it is indeed to me, a new character. But you guys tell me in the comments whether Black Hat's new or not. Cobra Commander, I liked seeing Cobra Commander again rallying the troops, saying this is our battle plan, keeping one step ahead of Serpentor Khan. The new look, obviously, looks cool. I do like it. If it is the reason that they can't draw him in the hood, that's fine. Or maybe Mr. Hama decided he just wanted to draw him a new way. Totally their prerogative over there at Skybound Entertainment. But yeah, fun issue overall. Like I said, if you can pick up the issue, it is on newsstands right now, so you should be able to pick it up. Just to show you guys, I did get just the regular edition. This is a very cool cover. I do like seeing Dawn standing over those 3 enhanced Vipers. We got the Night Creeper, the Alley Viper, and the Night Viper. So very cool to see out there. This was the last issue. I showed up at my comic book shop at around noontime to pick up my issue, and this was the only issue left. So they had already sold out of all the other copies, prints of issue 304. So G.I. Joe, Real American Hero is going on strong. I highly encourage all of you, if you didn't pick up the first printing, pick up a second printing. Really helps show the Skybound and Image Comics that we are invested in this. And yeah, drop me a comment down below. Are you picking up this issue? Have you picked it up yet? What do you think of the issue? Let me know where you think about where this story is heading. But that being said, once again, thank you so much for tuning in. Make sure you hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you feel so inclined, and stay on the lookout. I will be getting up that review of Cobra Commander issue 2 very, very soon. Matter of fact, I'm probably going to tape it right now. And yeah, otherwise, I'm Mark. You've been watching Coffee with Toys, and I'll see you later.